Dear friends, like most Christians, I have my favourite parts of the Bible. I prefer the New Testament to the Old, I prefer the Gospels to the Epistles, and I prefer the Gospel of John to the other Gospels. And if you really pushed me, I might be forced to say that John 1:1-14 is my favourite passage in the whole Bible. For me, it sums up everything that I believe about Christianity. Here is the essence of my faith. This is where the meaning becomes plain. Here is where it all makes sense. The passage famously begins, "In the beginning was the Word." Now, the original Greek text, which is translated as word, is logos. And although there isn't really a better translation to be had, some levels of meaning do get lost when we simply say, "In the beginning was the Word." For logos doesn't simply mean word in the sense of something either spoken or written. It has rather wider, more important connotations. In part, it means reason. It's the root of our word logical. But to say, "In the beginning there was reason," or much, much worse, "In the beginning there was logic," would actually be quite misleading, especially in our culture where logical reasoning has become something of an idol. So we could say, "In the beginning was the meaning," or "In the beginning was the purpose," or "In the beginning was the sense, the point of it all." For that's what we're talking about here, the purpose of creation. In the beginning there was the reason why. That which gives everything its meaning. That cliched phrase, the meaning of life, it's here. This is what we are talking about. Why are we here? How should we live? So in the beginning was the purpose. Another way of thinking about this, which the writer himself does a few verses later, is to say, this is what God had in mind when the world was created. This was why the world was created. All things were made with this purpose in mind, and nothing was made without this purpose. Or, all things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. And that purpose is revealed in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. It's not something that can be summarized in words. It can only be shown by the life. And that is why we have the Gospels. They're four portraits of a life of self-giving love. Love one another as I have loved you. This is the purpose of existence, that such love might come to be. Love between us and God. We are told to love God and love our neighbour, but the marvellous thing isn't really that we're told it, but that we are shown it. The light shines in the darkness, and by that light we can see what it is that we are supposed to do. Jesus gives us a new commandment. Love one another as I have loved you. He shows us what to do. He doesn't just tell us. In the letter to the Hebrews, Jesus is described as the pioneer and perfecter of our faith, our great high priest. For through his life, he has opened up the possibility of our sharing in his life. He incarnates the purpose of God. In other words, he shows us what the purpose of God is for humanity by living it out in human form. And because he has done it, we can do it too. He's the trailblazer. He's the one who has cut the path through the jungle. And for us, it is enough to follow in his footsteps. Which is why word begins to break down as a translation. This meaning cannot be captured in words. It cannot be fully articulated or spoken or written. It can only be lived. Lived by us in imitation of the one who lived for us. And when we do, something marvellous happens. We become the children of God. We come into our inheritance as children of God. For as verse 12 has it, to all who believe in him, who accept this purpose for our own, he gives the right to become children of God. It's possible for us, and this is such an astonishing thing, to be the children of God, to work his purpose out by shaping our lives, the purpose he has revealed through his Son. And to do that is to walk in the light. So if there's one thing I'd like you to take from the gospel this morning, it's this: be confident. Be confident that what is most important in life has been disclosed to us, that we have seen the light that gives light to each and every one of us. In our Western culture, the church is under threat, and the media seems set on only ever reporting bad news. But this is good news, and we have good news. For the world makes sense, and we have seen its glory, full of grace and truth. Amen.